Raja Jackson finally faces real consequences. Video by Omizi. Let's get to it.
This is breaking news. After doing the unthinkable and beating a man, what I saw damn near to death on stream, Raja Jackson is finally arrested for his responsibility in those actions. And I'm not gonna lie, this is something that
About time. I think it's been like a month. You know, if that was me, I would have been arrested the same day, yo. Like, that's crazy. I don't know if it has to do with the clout he got, all the, people in the background he got. I don't know. But yeah, a whole month is crazy.
we need to see more often, especially with the streaming community and the lack of consequences that get handed down from these bigger platforms, from just society as a large when it comes to these streamers. After seemingly doing the unthinkable for millions of people to see on different video platforms, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Raja Jackson was skating free for the past month, to be quite honest with you, with no charges being brought down from anybody from like the police department or even Stu. I think that they were waiting for Stu to come out of, the coma that he was in, or the hospitalized state that he was in. And then after he got out of that, they finally went and picked him up. But it was just amazing and stunning to me that like nobody found it weird that Raja was just living his life with no charges. They literally should have picked him up the next day. And I would point that to the support system that he does have. But honestly, during that time, his father, Rampage Jackson, was doing some very strange things about him and his name in the media. He's just got a very weird father, guys. I don't know what else to say, but this is not a good support system for him.
Are you at all worried about his well-being?
Yeah, it's my son. I am worried about his well-being. How many kids you got?
I got 3.
All right, so why you asking me some stupid ass?
Well, can I be real with you? I can't imagine what it would feel like to see my son do that. I also don't think I would cut my son off if he did that.
What?
So if you are worried about his well-being, why are you not talking to him?
Because he dishonored my name, and
But he's still your son.
No, listen. I know he's my son. I'm not cutting him off for forever. I just haven't talked to him.
But this is the worst moment of his life. He needs you now more than ever.
No, listen. I talked to him after this happened, and he hid the fact that he did this, and he put my other kids at danger based off what the other people said, and I just can't talk to him right now.
See, Rampage is probably thinking Rajat did this to SYKO STU, so now SYKO STU's fans or whatever people's is gonna if they can't get to Raja, they're gonna retaliate on one of his family members. So that's probably what he's talking about. And I don't blame him. It is somewhat true.
I just can't.
Like, what kind of situation are we talking about where somebody is sitting in waits for the police to come and literally put handcuffs on them? He's getting dragged on the internet on all sides. There's no side of the internet that was supporting him. He can't even turn to his father. That's just a bad situation, because you would expect your father to at least speak to you. I'm not even saying that he has to praise the actions that you do, condone any of the actions that you do, but you can't even speak to your father. I know that kid was going through it before the police ultimately came and picked him up. Now, to give Raja and Rampage's relationship a little bit of bail, the person that did break him out of jail with paying his $50,000 bond was Rampage Jackson. And I mean, that's the least he could do for his son, who, for all intents and purposes, is probably like in a mental state that's just not healthy at all at this point.
How's driving? You're doing okay. You're doing okay. You all right? Here at home now. Okay, good. Hey, he fucked up. He fucked up, though. He fucked up. He got to learn his lesson.
Now, I'm not a person who subscribes to the ideology that you are always a product of like your upbringing. Like, have you ever seen a situation where, I don't know, a grown adult does some bad action and then they question how this person was raised? I'm not a fan of that, because it takes away from all the good things that have been done by parents,
But there's more kids that end up not as successful in life than a person that was raised in a two parent household, with the right discipline and respect, and just great upbringings like myself. My parents, I couldn't ask for anybody better. Both of my parents were great. They gave me what I needed, what I wanted. They had my back you know. You know, even if I did something wrong, they still stuck by me, you know, and just try to make things right. You know, on the other hand, I have a family member, you know, a cousin of mine, that his father used to do crazy things, you know. This kind of reminds me of my uncle, you know. Used to talk down on my cousin, you know. It just messed with his mental so bad that, you know, right now he's doing drugs, you know. He's nowhere to be found, you know. And before that, he was you know, hustling, you know, living that life, you know. So not everybody, you know, gets affected by, you know, how their upbringings were, but there is a percentage that do get affected, you know. So
other adults in people's lives that got them to the point that they are. Now that I got that little preface out, that is not applicable to this Raja and Rampage situation. It is super strange, and it's something that is kind of being swept under the rug, how in real time to massive amounts of audiences, Rampage Jackson is just saying super duper weird and probably disgusting things to his son, and nobody's really calling it out. Now, not saying that it excuses any of the behavior that Raja is doing. That's the last time I'm gonna say that. But listen to how Rampage Jackson is talking about cutting Raja Jackson off for weeks at a time. Like, this is right after the event.
I talked to him after the shit happened, and he hid the fact that he did this shit, and you know, he put my other kids at danger.
He didn't.
Based off what the other people said. I just
see, like, some people's like, no, they didn't, but you know, if I'm thinking, like, if I'm Rampage Jackson, you know, he's probably like, you know, my son, you know, Raja did this to another human being, which is SYKO STU, and now, um, you know, what if SYKO STU's fan base or team, or, you know, wants to retaliate, and if they can't get to Raja, maybe they could get to, you know, family member, you know. So I understand where Rampage is coming from.
I just can't talk to him right now. I just can't. I'm not saying I'm never going to talk to him again. I just can't talk to him right now. I need some time. I'm dealing with his attorneys and all this shit. I'm very disappointed in Roger. Like, yeah, I'm not a perfect parent, so I don't know what's the protocol to how much time you stop from talking to your son when he fucking goes out there and hurt somebody. He put a guy in a fucking hospital.
I'm gonna give you a little bit of help here, Rampage. There is never a time when, especially your son going through an incident like this, should you ever abandon him. One of the gripes that he had in his monologue after leaving is that he feels as a lot of people aren't on his side. He feels as that he doesn't have people in his corner. He feels as that he is alone. Don't double down and prove this right now by abandoning him in his time of need and only communicating through the lawyers.
I'm tired of everybody playing with me and think I'm always playing and call me and no, bro. At the end of the day, I'ma stand up for myself because I'm tired of everybody playing with me, bro.
It's clear as day that he cares about you, your opinions, and what you think, but you deciding to step away from the situation right now is not the best thing in the world. And I see by watching you, you are the reason for the whole family having accountability issues. You talk about how all these people have this blame, but one person.
Everybody was wrong. Roger was the most wrong. Everybody was wrong, but none of this shit ever would have happened because SYKO STU never hit my son on the back of the head with a can that they was drinking beer out of, and then grabbed him by the neck, asked him to sell it. If that never happened.
Yeah, but, you know, Raja and SYKO gotta face the consequences, you know. They gotta they gotta deal with the repercussions, you know. One person almost lost their life. The other one, you know, could be facing some time, you know. It does look like Raja he needs help, man. He definitely needs help. His mental health is it's in danger, man.
None of this shit never happened. And the promoters was wrong for putting an outsider inside a motherfucking pro wrestling match. Everybody's wrong. The dumbest thing I ever seen.
And you're right. Everybody is wrong. I think that there was a little oversight from the wrestlers, the wrestling promotion that, had Stu and Raja in that situation. I definitely think Raja was wrong. I mean, he beat the man black and blue. But what about the responsibility that you hold? Now, Rampage Jackson is doing a good job of, flipping the script and on the back end cleaning it up, doing what a responsible dad does. He paid the $50,000 worth of bail. He's going on these interviews, kind of taking the conversation away from Raja. He's the one being front facing, and he's even volunteering to pay for all of the medical expenses from Stu that he suffered once Raja put him in the hospital.
Can I nominate
Yeah, of course he's gonna offer to pay all the bills, the medical bills and all that stuff. You know how much more it would be if SYKO STU decided to sue? Like, he's getting away with, just having to pay for the medical expenses, believe me.
American to get his smile back? Yeah. His name is SYKO STU. I pay for that out of my pocket. You the man. Absolutely. Yeah. All right, I'm waiting for him to call me back.
Okay, sure thing.
Look, I'm not trying to take away the fact that Raja did what he did. I mean, he sat there and let a chat full of internet kids rage bait him into jumping on stage and beating a man until, he passed out. But ultimately what I am saying is that Rampage is not as scot-free as he's saying. We need to start investigating the source and what roles they play in these conversations, because as I look at some more footage of Rampage Jackson, it's clear as day to me that the way that he treats his son is playing a big role in his son's life.
My son's a vegan because he's a...
Why hasn't he fought in 2 years?
Because Roger's a vegan. And
what's your problem with the vegan stuff?
Because I don't think you should be a fighter and a vegan. I just don't believe a vegan that has to cut a lot of weight should be a fighter. I don't care if Roger ever fight again. As soon as
I feel bad for Raja, man. He probably feels this small, and he's a big dude, he's big, but probably feels so small. His own father putting him down, talking to him like that, he's probably got all kinds of stuff running through his head. I don't even want to talk about it. You know what I'm talking about. Can't do that.
As soon as I find he's vegan, I don't care if he ever fight again.
Ngannou Jackson is going to be the son that I always wanted. He's going to be a meat eater and a lover. And he's going to fight. He's going to be the epitome of me. Something that you ain't.
Why are you stepping on my shoe?
Oh, look, I forgot to tie my shoe good. Can you help me out with that?
Trolling his own son to get views, man. Grown-ass man. That's crazy.
From Fat Avenue, yuck mouth from Fat Avenue.
I don't know, maybe I'm too mature for some of these conversations, but we never talk about the impact that a lot of this negative focused content can have on the actual people that are suffering from these things. I'm talking about the people that get bullied. I'm talking about the people who are the butt of the joke. I'm talking about the people who get constantly, and I mean constantly, made fun of on the internet. You don't think that that's something that is going to harbor in their hearts? There's not going to be some anger, some hatred, some sort of animosity that builds up in their hearts?
That shit pissed me off, and I'm gonna have to get them back. They said I can go in the ring and get it back. I don't even know what I'm gonna do to them. Bro, my dad can't do shit. I'm gonna fake crash out. All right, bet. It's always been my dream to fuck up a pro wrestler for real. So I get it today. Am I really gonna fight him? Yeah, I'm gonna punch his ass for real. How many subs to knock him out? That's a good question. 50 subs to knock him out.
And that's another thing too, outside when all that happened with Raja and SYKO STU, they squashed it. SYKO STU apologized. Raja looked like he accepted the apology, and now they set up something where Raja's gonna go in the ring and do, his little 1-2, and right before he does, the chat is instigating him, and amping it all up, and he's falling for it. That's one thing, guys. Don't let other people, tell you what to do and make you do something you don't want to do, or you know, things like that. You know, just you know, do what you feel is right. You know, but yeah, you know, they were wrong for that. But he's got to face accountability because he's a grown man too. He shouldn't be listening to a chat, you know.
Gets me back for real. I don't give a fuck. I want him to. Y'all want me to teabag him? People think this shit's sweet. People think this shit's a fucking game. My dad can't never call me a bitch.
That father-son relationship is a very unique one. It's filled with a lot of pressure from the outside, from the inside, from the parents to the children. And then ultimately, if the children don't have that positive outlet, they lash out. There's only one man in your life that you want to impress, and that is your dad. So I could understand why Raja would be so upset and so attached at the same time to his dad, who was constantly bullying him, constantly harassing him, constantly treating him like shit. Ultimately, I honestly think that Raja Jackson needs a level of healing, and I'm glad that there are others out there that can see my perspective and not just flip it on its head and say, nah man, he's just a bad guy. He's bad, but he needs help.
When he was in that ring and I seen him take out all that anger, I'm like, he's fighting his dad right now.
Yes, that's
that
trauma. That's a blackout. Yes, that is pent up aggression and trauma that you've not been able to get out, and that's what it is.
Hey, I totally get it. I hope the biggest takeaways from this are two things. One, there is consequences to this streaming shit and putting everything on the internet. I don't think that we can escape that, because if he was getting away scot-free from this would have been just another streamer that can do whatever the hell they want to do. And I'm glad that we're not letting that happen. And two, and most importantly, build positive relationships. Put the toxic masculinity down. We're not doing that in 2025. Let's go ahead and work on some positivity first type of stuff before we just always
Amen. That's it for today's video, guys. If you liked it, like the video, comment, subscribe, and I'll see y'all later. Thanks.